Page 35, Morning Prelude. On page 34, they're introducing you to the damper pedal. Look out. On most pianos, you're going to find three, on acoustic pianos, you're going to find three pedals. Some acoustic pianos only have two pedals. If you have an electronic keyboard or whatever, you may only have one pedal. That's it. It's the right hand pedal. If you have more than one pedal, it's the one on the right, or if you only have one pedal, that's it, the damper pedal. It's got other names besides damper pedal. The point is that on an acoustic piano, the felt things that keep the strings from vibrating, they touch the strings to keep them from, those are called dampers. And this pedal works those things, so it's called a damper pedal. They show you a little bit on how to, you just work it with your foot and you hinge at the ankle. It's a very small motion. I tend to exaggerate it in the video so you can see it better, but it's really a small motion. The symbol for when to use it in the music, that depends on the publisher. And it's evolved over the years. They've used different symbols at different times. It's fun trying to figure it out, although it's not too hard. If you just study it a little bit, you can figure it out. The most common musical notation for when to use the pedal is the same as what this book uses, so it's a good one. And that is, it's the line that's underneath the bottom staff. It doesn't mean it applies to the bottom staff. It applies to everything. It's the feet. They're down below. They don't get their own staff because there's no notes or anything. You're just working the pedal. But the line goes down, and then you have a line going across, and then the line comes up. Well, the line goes down tells you to push the pedal down, and as long as the line's going across, you hold the pedal down. And when the line comes up, you let the pedal up. That's all. The problem is it's not accurate. You see the line going down and the line going up is not exactly when you do it. It's close, but it's not exactly when. And in piano playing, we want to try and be a little more accurate than that. That's where a teacher comes in. If you have a teacher, they'll help you with it. Yeah, you don't have a teacher, you're stuck with me, I'll see what I can do. And I am notorious for changing the pedaling in these books. I change the pedaling all the time. Don't pedal it this way, pedal it this way. You take a pencil and you just mark it in the music. I'll try not to do that too much, but now they have a pedal study on page 34. I would prefer to use the actual music, so I'm going to talk about it on page 35. Let's talk about the damper pedal. There's different techniques for using damper pedal. Now, I'm not talking about physical. There's only one. You simply up and down at the ankle with the foot. Technique as to when you push the pedal down and why you push the pedal down, and so forth. There's variations of this. Now, the one we're going to cover first is the most common. It has various names. But when I learn a piece of music, the pedal is always last, because I have a set order of things I do when I learn a piece of music. I kind of build it up. The pedal is always last. You always, please, get into the habit of always learning a piece of music without the pedal. Make the fingers and the hands do it. It might sound a little weird because you need the pedal. Don't care. Make the hands and the fingers do it. Because once you start adding the pedal, you have to listen very carefully to the effect it has on the sound. Don't just blindly use the pedal. People, they just pedal everything a lot. You see, they're just constantly pedaling everything. It tells me they're not listening, because there's a lot of times in there that they really shouldn't be pedaling certain things. So if you're going to pedal, know why you're pedaling. There are reasons for pedaling. Now, Morning Prelude, let's talk about it. I'll talk more about the pedaling when we get to the end of this, because we do the pedaling last. Treble and bass clef, there's no sharps or flats in key signature. We're in the key of C major. We're going to be in C position here too. We may move around a little, but at least C position. White keys, C major is all the white keys. There are some flats in here, but we'll deal with those. 4/4 times, so we're counting to 4 and we're counting quarter notes. And what? Half notes and quarter notes and whole notes, we can deal with that, I hope. Let's take it. In this piece, I'm going to take both hands at the same time because they're only playing one hand at a time. They're kind of taking turns. So we're in C position here. And just 1, 2. Connect all the notes. 1, 2, 3, rest. Now we have flats, second line. So I'm going to do D flat is second and E flat is third. I'm just going to go here. So it's that's morning. It's me before I have my coffee. That's okay. The third line is the same as the first. Let's go down to the bottom here. And then here. And then the last measure. You see the LH above it? That's left hand. They want you to use your left hand to play that note. So you're going to cross over here. And you leave the hands here. Like so, for 4 counts. So we moved. You have to look at the keyboard on that one because it's quite a ways. Otherwise, you shouldn't have to look at the keyboard for this. And once we have that, the slurring here, it's all, each line gets its own. You have a rest after it, so that's fine. You're going to lift up automatically anyway. The last line, there's 2 slurs, but again, there's a rest. You got to lift up for the rest, so you're going to lift up anyway. Okay. Otherwise, you connect all the notes. Dynamics, well, they give you 2 dynamics, an MF-MP. Remember I said when they give you 2 dynamics like that, one after the other, it tells you immediately you're going to play it more than once. And if you look at the bottom, there's a repeat sign, so yes, you're going to play it twice. So the first time you play it moderately loud, mezzo forte, MF. And the second time, when you play it moderately soft, mezzo piano. It's just a little softer. Just, in other words, play the second time softer than the first. And don't get really loud and soft. It's in the middle somewhere. That's all. Speed-wise, Allegretto's a fun speed, so you have to think fun. In the morning, forget that. I don't do fun in the morning. Yeah, well, wasn't that fun? All right. Now, look out. When you finish at the bottom and you want to repeat back up, you're in this position. Your left hand is playing that note, and the left hand plays the first note, and when you repeat, down here. So you got to lift up just long enough to get you, just lift up and move. It's like taking a breath, except now you're moving here and here. Not to be real quick and jerky about it, just do it. Now there's a note at the bottom, if you want. There you can take it up an octave on the repeat if you want. And I suggest both hands, of course. So in there, you're just going to pretend middle C goes up an octave as it's here. So you're starting in this position, and then when you repeat it, you're going to be in this position, and you're going to play it up here. Second time around. So in that case, you're ending the first time here, and now you're going to repeat. You're only going to here, and the right hand has to get out of the way. So here, here. You're moving both hands in that case. When we do the play with me, I'm not going to up an octave. I'm going to stay right where we're at. If you want to go up an octave and play around with that, you go right ahead. It doesn't affect the pedaling or any of that stuff. It's the same as what it was. Then once you have all of that, then we add the pedal. And the technique we're going to use is called a lag pedal or an overlap pedal or syncopated pedaling. It's called, I think most common is called syncopated pedaling. And the point is that the hands are doing their thing first and then the pedal follows it. For instance, at the beginning, you see the line goes down right under the C? No. I want to push the C down first and then the pedal. Here. The idea is I want to start the sound first before I release all the dampers. Because when you release all the dampers, you add a whole lot of overtones to the sound. And I want the sound first before I release all those overtones. We don't always do it this way, but that's the most common. So we're going to push the note down first and then the pedal. And you're going to hold the pedal down for the whole first line. And then at the end of the line, when you lift the E in the right hand in the last measure, the pedal comes up at the same time. So it all ends up. So it's here, the first line. Like so. Each line is done exactly the same way. In the bottom line, it's twice. But again, you push the pedal down after you play the notes, but lift it up with them. In the last line, here, something like that. And that's the pedaling here. The reason we're pedaling is because in this case, it's the mood of the piece. It's a misty, foggy morning. It's not a horror movie, except for the second line, but it's supposed to be you're just going to blend it all together. It's kind of, you're kind of waking up still. Things are a little foggy yet. You know, just adds a little bit to the atmosphere of the piece. You notice at the bottom in the last two measures between the stabs it says RIT, second time. That's retardando, or gradually slow down the second time. So you're going to play it twice. They don't want you to slow down the first time. And this is really typical of a lot of pieces. When you repeat it, typically you would only slow down the last time you play it. Especially if there's people singing. Now, there's no words here, you're not singing. But in some other piece, you might be playing and people are singing. And if there's verses, you're playing it over and over and over. Don't slow down until the very end. Yeah. Now, I'd like to play this with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics, but I will do the pedaling. And we're going to do it twice. So I'll give us 4 counts, and let's do it together slowly. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, repeat. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4.